And so, Julie, if you would just take us in, you have had very clear prophetic words and carry something forward, even from Kansas City. Your spiritual prophetic father that James talked about, carried this word about this era, this time frame that you heard many, many times. And I'd like you to reiterate it because you shared it with us at the healing rooms. It was so profound. And then I want you to sing over us. We're gonna have a little time of prophesying, and we're gonna just bless you all to walk into your calling in the new era. So go ahead, Julie.
Just what I've been doing is going back to 1983, May 7th, when I was part of the Mike Bickle's church. My spiritual father was Bob Jones, and we had a 21-day fast where we were believing for signs and wonders and outpourings. The day before the 21 days, Bob Jones went up and said, "The Lord is putting a pause on this prophetic word." And what he said is, and I believe, because I feel like that we're in this season right now where the pause button is off. And I believe that started when the Chiefs won, and I'll tell you why. Because in 1985, Bob and Viola, they were at our house in the living room with our good friends Jeff and Julie Earl, and Bob said, when the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl and win, it will be a signpost of the beginning of the billion-soul harvest of youth. Now, it was a youth harvest. That doesn't count the moms and dads, the grandmas and the grandpas. But anyway, so when this year, Stacey, when you were at my house, and the Chiefs won, it wasn't like, oh, now revival can happen. It was like, this is a signpost that was prophesied in 1985. And I remember it because we began to just be, Chief followers. And they just didn't do so good year after year after year after year.
Wait, Julie, are you saying that from 1985 to 2020, the Kansas City Chiefs never went to the Super Bowl, let alone win it, until the year 2020? Okay, now carry on. Okay.
Until, yes. So anyway, so then going back to, because when the Chiefs won, knowing that it was a signpost, I just began to go back and look at the old words, and it's very interesting that many of you have touched on family and unity and affection. And what Bob had said in 1983, he said that God was putting the pause button, because he said this is a down payment because the structure is not in order yet. And he began to say leadership has not come yet because the people in their ministry families and in their families, they are not in friendship and affection. And I feel like these years that God is setting people in ministry, and it's not just ministry, it's about unto the coming of Jesus Christ, but we've linked arms in our ministries to be more, to be a family, to be in friendship. And he said it was so important, and he said we must be in friendship and affection for each other so that we are able to stand the strain of increase. He said when ministries and families are in friendship and affection, then we can stand the pressure of increase. And he said that when the billion soul harvest, at the same time when we're seeing this harvest, whether it is a viral harvest or whether we are meeting in stadiums again, he said that the psalm that people would be singing and praying was Psalm 12, because at the same time, he said people would be saying, hey, where are the Davids? Where are the Gideons? Where are the faithful? There's no champions anymore, because people have sold out to what he said, the gold, the girls, and the glory. And so he said, God put the pause button on in 1983 until he could knit families together that were in friendship and affection. And though the temptation would be great, it would be greater than anything we've ever seen before, because they were in friendship and affection for one another, and just in community and unity, that they would stand, that they would stand strong, that they would literally have a glow, that they would literally have a light. And I feel like we are in this spot where the pause button is off. We're in our families, we're growing together. And Bob just kept saying, they will not fall. These will be those that will not fall. They will not bow. And then he said that the evangelists are being released. Out of that come the evangelists. And you know what? Maybe it's an online evangelist. I don't know. But he began to say that literally that they would have a blue light that people would be able to see coming out of their hands. And they would just take their hand and go from one end to the other end. And that signs and wonders would be able to happen. And he said that people that were there that wouldn't have an arm, he said this blue light would literally go out from these evangelist hands. Those who will not bow, those who are in the ministry of friendship and affection, that literally, that those that are in the stadium, that wherever they had if they were struggling with cancer, if they needed their arm to grow, that this blue light would fall on their bodies and they would be healed instantaneously. And he said that they would carry a governmental anointing that pointed people to Jesus, that these were those that would not bow, but that their shine would grow brighter and brighter and brighter. Though the darkness get darker, though temptation gets stronger, as long as they were in unity, as long as they were in friendship and affection, joining arms, that literally, that they would be the faithful ones that God has ordained and picked. And I knew that when the Chiefs won, it wasn't just like, oh, they won, now revival. No, it's a time post. We're in a divine time post where whatever it looks like in the earth, because right after the Chiefs, then went the Brazil, 2.5 stadiums full of people. What was it? It was the evangelists. And though those stadium events might not be happening now, it's going online more than ever. But I tell you, we will gather together. We will gather together, because everything else Bob said in 83, I'm watching unfold. And it's like we've got to tell the old stories and the old prophecies and keep them alive, because these are our prophecies and these are our sons and our daughters' prophecies. So I believe that God is raising up the ministries in friendship, and affection. And he is raising up the Davids and the Gideons that are going to shine with the brightness of Jesus. And I just believe that we're here, no matter what it looks like. Maybe it's going to start viral, but it will not slow down the process of what God intends to do on the earth. So
That's amazing.